Game on! Hello,
Oh my
ladies and gentlemen and gamers. Welcome back to the Chitchat show where we talk about anything and everything. And today we are going digital with video games. Joining us today is Alicia, the media graduate who also can fly.
Who can fly?
Yeah, who flies a lot. And Nicole, filmmakers and actress. Danish, the writer. And then Sufyan, the voice artist.
Okay, hi.
Song and music creator person. Nicholas. And also Nikhil, stage performer enthusiast and actor. Welcome. And once again, we will be talking about a topic that are more lighthearted, but we are going to the other route. So just a little bit of history where we are trying to set a scene here about video games. So we are going to talk about the general things about video games, and here's a little bit of history. So video games started back in 1950s, actually, when they were some engineers was tweaking some computers, and then they suddenly found out, hey, why not we just have fun? And so they created this first ever game called Space War. And Space War looks like a airplane radar, actually. Compared to the graphics nowadays, it's so unique and so different that nobody knows it's a video game if they are born today and they don't know about history. So anyway, it started off that, and then it becomes the arcade, which all of us would know those arcade center in the mall. So they sell games with the arcade machine together. So if the companies want to sell the game, they have to get the people to make that arcade machine and put it in office, in anywhere in the public to be able to allow people to play. And that eats up a lot of money, and that creates an entirely business at the time for the video game industry. And then when the home console PC came out, video games shifted to that platform. From there on, it started to grow into different genres, different content. It serves different purpose. It has created a major impact to the world, to everyone. So, to begin, let's talk something personal about our view on video games. And the first questions will be, what is video game to you? How do you see it? And what do you think about it? So shall we start with Alicia?
Okay. Video game. I actually still play video games till now during my off days, or if I have insomnia, I couldn't sleep. I'm actually currently playing The Sims 4.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I've been playing this game since Sim 1. It was in 2000. And I'm still playing it now at the age of 34. So it's a fun game because I can have my own pet, I can have my dog, I have a cat, I open up a restaurant, I even have a vet of my own, I have a clinic. Yeah, it's fun.
Like living the life that you wanted to live, but online, virtually.
My dream life.
Simulator.
Yes.
Would you say it's an extension to your life or a alternative life choices?
Alternative life choices. Yes, it's basically like my dream life.
I see. Cool. So what about Nicole? Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, what
Nicholas?
was Nicholas saying?
What?
What? What? You can't just stop your sentence halfway.
You were saying you understand.
Okay, I would say I understand that part because I wish I can work out 6 hours straight. Okay.
Oh my god.
It's just like never ending. You can just do the same thing over and over again and nothing.
And
just keep on
every
going.
day getting paid as well. You get paid
Yeah,
every
getting paid.
Getting paid.
Getting
When the
paid
house
every day,
down.
like $300. That's a good life.
Socializing was so much easier. You just need to bambling gibberish with a stranger, and then your social meter. Yeah,
The one and only.
from acquaintance to getting married in just less than 2 days. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
fun
Fairy
games.
tale.
Skill. Pure skill. We're all a flirt there.
Every Disney movie.
Yeah. So what about Nicole? What do you see video game as?
I see video games as they're just fun to play, no? They have a lot of purposes to me. It depends on what you want from them. They can give you a variety of things. They can, take up your time. If you're bored, you want to have some fun, you can play video games. They can be a way to earn income, like for streamers on Twitch, on YouTube. They generate income for you if you want to go that route. And that's what I see video games as. But generally, for me, it's more of the fun thing.
Right. Many youngsters nowadays tend to have a new ambition that we, at our generation, we never spoke about, is to become a gaming streamer. They aspire to become a game streamer when they grow up. So what do you think about that? Is it a feasible job?
Are you asking me or like everybody?
Anyone who has ideas?
Obviously, Nicole.
Do you stream it as a
I think
hobby?
it's definitely feasible. I recently got into Twitch, and I got like 17 followers yesterday. I mean, I know it's not much lah, but to me it's like, ooh, I would never get that many on let's say on YouTube if I didn't live stream it. If I just put up a video and put it out there. And I also know somebody who, due to the pandemic, lost his job, and then just went full-time Twitch streaming, and now that's his full-time job. So it's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, especially nowadays where we have to stay at home, we can't go anywhere, and the only place we can go is into the game. Right.
Kyra, you gotta be so deep, man.
Yeah,
I was like,
It's just all a game.
It's just a game. Oh, that's a controversial statement. It's just a game, but we'll come
It's
into
just
that
a game.
later. Now, Danish, what do you think
Alright.
about video games?
I think video games are ways to escape reality. Like, I guess, when you are having a stressful time, when you feel burdened by life itself, you hop on to a game and then you chill. But maybe not really chill, because sometimes if you play like competitive games like CS or Valorant, that you won't really chill. You get stressed also. But it's a fun kind of stress, because you get to release whatever life threw at you, and then you just get to focus on this like game like for 40 minutes for like 20 rounds, just to forget everything about the world and then just dive in. So I think, for me, video games is and not an extension of reality. It's more of like a reality that you choose to be in. Yeah,
Right.
that is video games for me.
Okay, so one thing that you talk about is the stress, right? Somehow you say that the stress in video game becomes fun. So why not in real life? Stress can be fun too.
Oh God.
Because I could die
Are we gonna
in
get
real
into
life.
this? Are we gonna talk about this?
I know.
I thought this was about games. This isn't what I signed up for.
I'm a game. Life plays me.
I mean, I guess that's the main concept of video games. I guess like there are no real life consequences. You can play like, say, Tomb Raider, for example, and then you can just jump off a cliff, but you won't die. The character will just Restart. Yeah, I'm looking at Nico. So-
I do that for
Yeah.
fun. Totally not because I'm a noob or anything.
Really?
Cool.
Really? Should we really go there?
Next question.
Next person,
Yeah.
Sufyan. What is video
Uh,
game to you?
I just play it for fun. That's all.
Full stop.
Yeah, that's it. It's just something I do for fun. I don't really think too hard about it.
Okay, next
enjoy it.
person. So, do you play often when you are stressed or when you find the time to it?
Who, me?
Yeah, Sufyan.
Yes, you.
If I'm stressed, I don't really play video games actually. I mean, depends, like, 'cause I play like single player, so it's more like it's at your own pace. I
Right,
don't
yeah.
like playing multiplayer so much because it's like very try hard, you know. Everyone's just like, I mean, you're not gonna be better than that 14-year-old who plays 24 hours a day. So, you know, what point?
So what you're saying is you've lost to a 14-year-old.
So that was the problem was.
I see. I understand now, Sufyan.
Sorry, my internet's a little
You're
bit
an
bad
old
today.
soul.
So
It's okay. You can press the try again button.
Just like
did I answer your question?
Just like video games. Yes. Okay, now let's move to Nicholas. What is video game to you?
yes. What is video game to me?
Yes.
Video game is part of life. No, I'm just kidding.
Very well said.
But to me, honestly, life is a game too. The way you even see it, win or lose, same shit. So, but it's just video games is a way to escape reality, you know, because we get into like single player games. Okay, we go into their world, whatever that world is, and then we get immersed and we play as another person. But then if we how you call that, like play multiplayer games as well, what Sufyan said is very try hard, yeah. And that's what you call that, many people have said like there's a reason why people play it, you know. They love the stress, they love the competitiveness in a way. But it's so hard to put it in the right way that I cannot say. But it's just video game is just beneficial to a lot of people, all right? Even to me, yeah. I would say video games have changed my life at one point, but we'll get into that later. Yeah.
A little teaser for later.
Mhm.
So now, Nikhil, what about you?
I don't play video games.
The end.
All right.
Boo this man. Boo
And-
him.
Well, if you don't
I mean-
play, why so? Yeah.
I think I've played as a kid. I never grew up with it. I remember playing Doom on floppy disks in the 90s.
What? This
Yeah, kids.
Wow,
Doom was
they're very
on
classic.
floppy kids.
very classic.
I enjoy playing stuff like Bejeweled and stuff like that, but those aren't considered video games. Yeah, I just never grew up with it, so it's just not a norm for me. I think because when you don't get something, you always want something. There's always that stupid mentality. So in college, I had joined a few groups of friends to play Call of Duty. I think I played Call of Duty for like 4 hours straight, and I think the graphics was too much for me, and I threw up after that.
Oh, too
So-
much as in
Motion sickness.
Too much movement.
motion sickness.
Probably motion sickness, probably that. Yeah.
I see.
I was just so involved in it, and I was getting good in the game, and then I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta throw up! I gotta throw up!" And then after that, I never just came back.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I stopped
Well,
after that.
Understandable.
Yeah. So I suppose many different people play video games for different reasons, and at one point or another, in a way, they directly or indirectly affects their life or impact their life, good or bad ways. So does any one of you would like to share some of the impact that video game has provided to you in any specific situation?
I stopped playing video games.
By playing
It helped him not grow up, you know. It's very impactful. Very impactful.
Oh, wow. Okay, now I see that.
Did
Does
you
anyone want
completely
to stop
stop, or you play randomly even on your mobile phones as well? You
I do
completely
that sometimes. I don't. I sometimes play on my mobile phone as well. Sometimes. I can't remember what. Something on Facebook.
I see.
Hmm.
I think to
Or
me,
like those, those Farmville games like Samurai Siege
Oh, yeah.
and like
Dragon City. I like that one.
Township.
yeah, those building your gold kind of things and going on quests. I'm good at that thing. That's it.
I see. I guess I have the opposite journey, because when I first started playing when I was young, I never thought about any further than spending a few hours on the weekends and just playing it. But then I got to the point of always wanting to play. So you can say it's the beginning of an addiction, but at the time my parents was limiting my playtime, so I wanted to play more every time they asked me to stop. So as I grew up, I got more free time. I got to manage my own time. So in the beginning, I play a lot, but sooner or later, after a few play sessions, I kind of noticed something, that if I were to continue playing, I must get something out of it. If not, it won't be worthwhile. So then I started thinking what I can do with simply playing the games. So one of the things is to not get too much into competitive, because competitive is repeating the same thing over and over again until you win and those kind of things. Whereas the single player games, it's more about experience. And a big event for you to get into and have a memorable journey along the way. So those are slowly I found out that I like those kind of games because of that. It's like reading a book or watching a movie. It's an experience that counts.
Yeah.
And then after that, I got more into it, more than playing, and I started to study about how video game works and then what is the industry as a hobby, not really a career. Career, I still like films more, but then video game as a hobby, it's becoming more than just playing itself. So yeah, I would say, yeah.
Like video games are basically very like enhanced films, what? They are more interactive, they are deeper sometimes, because some games would last like 60 hours. So
I disagree there. I wouldn't say video games are deeper than movies. To like
what games have
long running TV shows.
Yeah.
Because in terms of length time, basically you have to condense all characters, plot, everything like 2 hours. Video games and TV series, they have like 8 hours plus of content they can handle. But I find the writing in video games to be, writing at least, not as deep as movies lah. It's improving, but I believe movies are still upper tier lah. Video games are just below.
Yeah, because there is the limitation in how we consume different medium, right? But video game has this one unique aspect that no other media has, which I will get into that later, because everything must have a bit of suspense, a bit of cliffhanger, right? So yeah, Nicholas, you were thinking about something.
Yeah,
Okay,
he disagreed.
I don't fully disagree with Suf. It's because I don't know what games you have played, so I can't say for sure from your experience. But based on the games I played, there are so many I won't say it won't top everything, but there are so many games that tops a lot of movies that I've ever watched. Okay, and even I'm just like, okay, if a game company can develop something even more interesting to me in a game than this not so good movie, not gonna name it, okay? So I'm just like, it just got me thinking like, okay, I won't say video games is the new movie kind of thing, but it gives you a very much more interactive experience. Like when games give you choices and you make your own choices instead, and then you build the story on your own. I like those kind of games instead of playing a linear kind of story, but those are still good too. But I mean, we are talking about two different form of things right now, like movie and games. They're never meant to mix, but they are how you call that, clashing in their own way, not in a bad way though. So I can understand Suf's point. At the same time, I won't fully disagree or agree, because there are just some bad. There are just some bad movies and there are some bad games. So we can't really say who is better.
Oh, okay. Let me just elaborate a little bit. So when I say
He has woken up.
I like single player linear video games. So stuff that anything that PlayStation puts out, like God of War, The Last of Us, Uncharted. These are things that you can consider like the blockbusters lah. You know, they're meant for mass appeal, meant for like high production, next level lah. You know, just cutting edge technology there. But so these are very linear stories in which you don't really get to make a lot of choice. But I like that because it allows me to experience what the creators wanted me to experience in a way, and the pacing is usually how they want us to experience it, which is quite similar to a movie. But that interactive aspect is where it's like it's a double-edged sword. Like say, I've noticed a lot of video games, there's usually like a bottleneck area. You get to a point in the story where you feel like it's the climax. It feels really good. You're up there, but then oh no, you can't proceed. You have to find this MacGuffin. So you have to retrace your way back, go to another area. In a movie, if you do that kind of thing, it really cuts the pace down, But in a video game, it's accepted because it allows you to explore more levels and whatnot. And but for me personally, because I like the story. I like it when the story is just super good. So when that kind of thing, it's when the gameplay takes over. The gameplay higher, and story kind of goes a little bit lower. They take priority. Gameplay takes priority lah. Yeah. Which I understand, but it does cut it short. Another example is maybe I don't know if you guys played, called Red Dead Redemption 2. So at some point of the story, it's a pretty good Western, basically. It's about cowboys during I wouldn't say the golden age, like the dying days of the cowboy age lah. So it's
basically GTA Western, like cowboy version.
Kinda. It's more about the romanticization of the cowboys lah, and how it was never meant to be, how the whole culture is just dying off because of industrialization. But anyways, the story is really good, and at one point, I think around chapter or something. The game itself.
Oh my god, are you gonna spoil it for us?
5. So I'm gonna say it takes you away from the main story and puts you into another location, and you're like, wait, why do we have this? It's not. I mean, and I look at it from a designer's perspective. It's more like, oh, we need an action sequence. We need a whole area where it's all.
I get the part
action.
Right. I hear you. I understand.
Because gamers need to be stimulated. We bought this and we need to feel like, oh, takkan ni je kan. We need to feel like, oh, there's more to this. Yeah, but I feel like because of that, the fact that they have to cater to that aspect of that, we need action. It does kind of cut down on the overall experience. That's why I said what I said just now.
Yeah.
Overall, it's not going to be as deep as a movie.
I think I can agree slightly. I think my cousins were playing God of War. I think it was God of War 3, I think. God of War was one of the first video games where I was really invested in. But I mean, I never really played it. We never really bought PlayStation at home. but was it something I just followed through? So I've seen cinematics. I like watching cinematics of games. I can like spend hours sitting on watching people play games. I'm the kind of people who can sit on the sidelines and watch you play a game because I don't have the patience for it. I think what I've realized in conversation is I probably don't have the patience for it. And yeah, like God of War has evolved so much from what it started to what it is now.
Yeah, I can imagine. I still remember I used to watch my sister play Final Fantasy, and she would be in front of the TV for almost 24 hours.
Oh,
Wow.
No eating, nothing.
food is for the weak.
Sleep is for the week. I will finish this. I will
Food
finish
and
it
sleep
all.
are for the weak.
Maybe she did go to the washroom, but no eating. That's one thing for sure.
That tend to happen when the game is good.
Yeah.
Yes.
A fun fact about Final Fantasy: do you know the creator when they first created the Final Fantasy 1? The reason why they name it that way is because the creator thinks that this will be his first and his last game, because it may be an idea that can grow or it may not. So it is his Final Fantasy. So that they name it as such. And then suddenly it just blew up, and then Final Fantasy 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, until 15, and it's still never final, which is good for us gamers. But yeah, fun fact.
It's like Fast and Furious. Always the last ride, but never ending.
No, but
it's
always about family.
Fast and Furious is scheduled only for 12 movies. They just haven't finished the 12 movies. It has been written like that. It was always written as a 12 movie series.
Remember
so
when
there
Fast
is
and
gonna be a
Furious
last
started
part.
as a racing movie, and it turned into some blockbuster action,
Family drama.
tanks and stuff going around, bombs going off everywhere, buildings falling down. I'm like, what happened to the original direction?
Well, yeah, evolve, right?
Yeah.
So well, the things that separates video games from other medium is definitely what you guys have mentioned: interactivity. Like you cannot go to the screen of the cinema and interact with the movie. But in a video game, I hear this interesting things in a paper where they say, in a movie, you are the audience witnessing what the director has come up with. But in a game, you are the director that controls the experience. However you play is whatever you get from it. So play, in a way, is the essential part of video game. Now, let's talk a little bit about what is play and if it's a beneficial for us.
I love going for plays.
Not that one.
No.
Not that one. Let's close down. Let's not talk about that.
Mine. Let's talk about mine.
Mine? Oh,
Mine.
Yeah.
Sounds so wrong.
hey.
Social distancing.
Are we
Wait,
still
what?
like talking about video games or?
What are you talking about? What do you mean by play? I don't get the word play.
PlayStation.
Okay,
Not sponsored.
Hopefully it is, but the first thing that we do as a kid, as a baby, is not working. We always started off playing something and learn something from playing, right? The play in the past has been seen as something that you are wasting your time with, where you should be working instead. So now with this bigger potential in video games, where any kind of experience is valid as long as you make it so, then play has become a tool to learn something, right?
Yeah, for sure.
More than spending time and all that. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I get what you're saying.
Oh,
Yeah.
How
okay.
yeah, I mean, I guess for me personally, like I play lots of types of games like single player. My favorite game is Horizon Zero Dawn. I play relaxing games like Planet Zoo. I play competitive games like Valorant. So like say I'm taking example from um, Valorant lah. So it's a competitive games and it's you have to make split second decisions and stuff. So it kind of like teaches me how to deal with tense situations. Like even though it's just a game, but when you are fighting like 1v2, 1v3, you have to think fast and you have to know how to decide on what you're doing and stuff. So that overall teaches me about decision making. But for example, like Planet Zoo, it's a game that is also like managing. So you have to do a lot of things at one time. You're managing a whole zoo, but at the same time, there's also an aspect that you have to build something, right? You in the game, like you can just take they have like they called it like a modular system. So you can take like a branch of a tree and then make it into a rumah kayu. Like I tried that before. Like I made a whole rumah kayu from pieces of the game. I made like an Arc de Triomphe, like an archway from just the pieces of the game. So it teaches me how to see stuff not as they are, but as what they can be. Like for example, if it's just a bench, you just looking at it's a bench. But if you tilt it sideways, you spin it around, it can be a pillar, and then you can make something new out of it. So yeah, it's those stuff. It teaches me like trying like seeing the world not from one perspective, but there are lots of ways that you can go about it, and then it'll reach like different points of of other new things. So it really teaches me how to think lah. Games do that. They do teach me. So I guess like talking about evolution, right? Maybe like in the old days of gaming, people see it as a waste of time because they do not really see what it is. It's just playing the Pong game is just a ball bouncing from two sticks. But now, yeah, like maybe it does teach something, but at that time it's new. People did not understand it. But now
that still
it's
teaches something though. I enjoy those kind of games. Yeah.
yeah,
Pong,
but yeah.
Pong
Some people
probably
don't
teach trajectory.
I saw this one quote.
Your aiming skill.
Yeah, I completely agree with Danish, I can say, because that like single player games, multiplayer, I think any games, you learn a lot from, like as for me, I learn a lot from all the games I ever played. Like I realized one thing I realized in a lot of people and myself is that when we play a lot of games, we tend to be good at multitasking. We tend to know like, oh, okay, we gotta do this. Okay, later I gotta do that. All right, I gotta do this. I gotta do that. It's like your brain just start like working it around. So sometimes when like the gamers say some people are like bad at games, it's not that actually bad. Is that not actually bad at it? They're just bad at doing a lot of things at once. So there's like, oh, I have to move, or I have to watch out for someone, or I have to kill this guy, or I have to help this guy. It's just like, bruh. It's like a lot at once. So some people, and that's why not all gamers have good days like where they can just play the same performance every day. There'll be bad days where you just suck. So, and I mean that's the competitive part. Then single player part is like the story, like the way the game was made or anything. You kind of learn a lot of stuff for your own life as well.
Yeah, especially as aspiring filmmakers, we can learn a lot from story-driven games. Horizon Zero Dawn, copy it.
Oh my god. This promotion, this shameless promotion.
Play Kingdom Hearts, please. Everyone, play Kingdom Hearts.
Resident Evil. It's all about
Everyone
story.
say your favorite game now.
Play Minesweeper. It teaches you how to do math.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, it teaches you how to do math. One of
A
the
lot of people don't know how to play Minesweeper, but it's
Minesweeper is a relationship, okay?
just,
You make one
numbers.
wrong move and you can blow up the entire relationship.
oh
That's a good one, Nicholas.
wow.
No, it's true. You step the right position, like you know.
Blow up. It's a good
When
one.
you know you blow up, you just have to start again. Realize your mistake and do it again.
let that sink in for a while.
Yeah.
One of the recent game that I learned a lot from is City Skyline. Have you guys heard of it?
Oh
It's
yes,
a
I heard of it.
yes.
city
That-
building game where
that
you
game.
play as a god building a city from the ground up. They give
That's
you a
like
land.
SimCity.
Sorry, yeah, SimCity. Yeah, SimCity. But it's a successor of SimCities. So it has
Okay.
all the things that people want and make it better. So city building games is just to manage a city. You would think so, right? But
I used to
a lot
enjoy
of
playing
things-
those games.
yeah, like managing and all that. But one of the things that I learned from it is, okay, let me ask you guys, what do you think is the essential part of a city building? Like, what is the main thing that you have to do before building a city?
Roads.
Delete all the
Planning.
people.
There's a game for that. There's a game for that. It's called I can't remember what's it called, but it's like you have everything. You have napalm, you have atomic bombs, and you can just drop them. And just drop them here, drop them
What is
there.
that
Ooh, I
game?
gotta get into these types of games.
These are like mobile games. Yeah.
No.
It's a game designed for Nicole. But yeah, so in the infrastructure, what is the main part?
Is it planning? Usually it's the
Okay,
planning.
yes. During the planning, what should you plan first?
The
I don't know.
foundation.
Isn't every god different anyway?
It's funny because I played the game too, so my way of thinking is also in my head right now. So I'm just like,
Yeah, it's
I
like
normally distribute the residential area with the commercial area and the industrial area first, and then I'm just like, are we thinking about
And
the
then they
same
will
thing?
need
I'm
more
not sure.
power, so you need the water tanks, and then you need the electricity. They will
Bomb the
always want
people.
more houses, more people moving in. They want more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For me, it's
we can
more like,
build-
whatever mana you can get first, what mana and what money you can build on overload. And
Okay, so I give a few points. So in a city, of course, business is one of the things, right? We need to get the cash flow. But there is this one thing that it's a must-have before you can get the cash flow. So to build a building, you need this thing in order for the building to work. And in
Foundation.
order for, yes, what is the foundation? It's actually
many?
the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's the
Did
road.
somebody say that?
Roads,
Yeah, that, someone said it already.
everything's.
I said that.
Oh, you said that? Oh, okay, correct. Sorry, I did not hear. But yes, it's road. You need, everything starts from a road. Without the road, you can't travel anywhere. You can't get people from point A to point B. Your buildings will stand on its own and nobody can get into it. So road is very important, but not just about building it. Traffic is also one of the things that they need to really plan about it. So we often complain about traffics and all that. So after playing the game, I kind of try to understand why is the traffic in KL so terrible. So what would I be building?
No planning.
How should it be planned in order to, all that kind of stuff. It's in the game. So it's like a simple concept for you to understand. Not necessarily that you play the game and then the next day you can be a civil engineer. No, but it's to get us to understand how it works, all these kind of things. So yeah, it's fun.
Somebody in the comment. If
Yeah,
I
I
were
know.
playing God to building cities, I will keep raising tax and have fun killing citizens. Same, man. Same.
Same.
Like, same.
You dark people.
You found your friend,
I found a friend.
to play with.
It's probably
Okay.
it's probably an earth sign. Probably an earth sign.
The funny thing about that game is, continue that topic a little bit more. Funny thing about that game is you can create natural disaster, which is not natural, all right? So it's just like, I'm calling down a meteor right now. Then you can just watch them die. And you're like, so that's what will happen. That's what will happen. All right, I see.
Yeah, you can play torture like Sims also. But so now that we know it has such a different kind of impact for different kind of people, then does anyone still agree that video game is a form of escapism
Yeah.
or
Yes,
an
that's-
extension?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why so?
I mean, you can't kill cops in real life, so
Bruh.
I mean, you can.
You're
You can.
alive.
You can probably only do it
You're
once.
alive.
You can, but you shouldn't.
Please don't.
Shouldn't. And you won't. And you won't.
I mean,
You
can
won't.
do it
You will not.
a lot of
No, you
times
stay home.
if you don't get caught. Like, if you get caught, then once lah.
That is what you're trying to say.
You'll be watched now.
And that's what you're trying to say.
Nothing. FBI open now.
I was gonna say no, it's not escapism, but good point. I kind of have to agree about that as well. I think not all. Some games, yeah, if they fulfill your evil fantasy, then sure, it's an escapism, and it may even prevent crime because, in a way, they let you let out that anger, like that kind of frustration. So, like City Skyline, you want to raise tax, right? You have been paying tax, but now let me just raise the tax and have a revenge on these digital minions. So yeah, it's a way to lash out, we'll say.
I think, Sufyan, your favorite one must be the movie The Purge. Do you watch those?
Purge. Oh, I've actually
You
never watched The
have-
Purge. No.
To do anything and do whatever you want.
Oh, really?
GTA.
Oh. What would you do? What would you guys
All
do
part of the
if
game.
that was The Purge?
Sleep.
But that's the thing.
You kill first.
What if we're all part of the game? What if we're all part of City Skyline and someone is just playing a joke on us now?
I honestly believe that.
You never know.
Like the Truman Show.
Oh.
Matrix
Somebody wake
also.
me up.
No, somebody just kill me.
Bro.
Okay, since we are at that, let's address some of the controversies that has been gathered in the video game scene. And one of the most popular one, and also some would say it's ridiculous, but let's hear it from the floor, is that video games makes you violent.
No.
No.
Anyone would say yes?
I believe I've actually done a test on this, like for a psychology class or something. It's quite some time ago, but basically what we did was have somebody play like a competitive game, and they just it's rigged, so you keep dying, and then at the end of the game you pour hot sauce for your opponent to drink. So we would measure based on like how much hot sauce people poured at the end of the game after each round. It's interesting.
And
To
the
irritate that
results
guy?
were?
Or
I don't know, it's not my experiment.
Bring it up.
This quest is deleted.
I can say not violent, Kai, but some, like for example, my niece and my nephew, when I saw them growing up playing this kind of games, they intend to take some words which is like verbally violent, like curse words. Because of the multiplayer games, they hear this word, but they do not understand. They don't understand this kind of words. So this is the only thing that I've noticed when it comes to the new generation, like teenagers playing games right now or kids playing games. They don't know what is a curse word, and they accidentally say it on the dining table. So I was like, whoa, where did you get this word from?
yeah.
Not to say they're violent. They're not violent. They don't stab you or whatever. But it's just that verbally, yeah.
Yeah, I
They
always
use
say
words at the wrong time.
I feel like that part is where this is where the parents comes in, because especially for kids, That's why games are age restricted at some point. You know, you're not really supposed to. And if you really let your kids play that game, it's really on you. It's really on you, the parents yourself, if you let your kids play that game. And then you wonder why your kids curse at another kid's parent. So you really have to control your child as well. And
that's what I said to my sister. But like, from where did they get this? Which game are they playing? And my sister don't even know what game they're playing in the room.
Yeah.
I think the same thing goes with the violent movie as well. Like Quentin Tarantino always gets the controversies about his movies being too violent. And then there's this interview that I remember when a reporter asked him, why don't you think that your movie makes people violent? And then he just answered with one thing, is that it's a fantasy. Movie is just a fantasy. You watch some Disney cartoons, and then the next day you think you can marry a princess. No, it's a fantasy. Everything is just that. And video game is the same thing. I always compare it with if video game is a knife, you don't blame the knife if someone gets murdered. You blame it on the upbringing of the murderer, like the whatever causing the murderer to turn violent. But a knife is just a knife. It's a tool for you to use it for chopping dishes and all that kind of useful stuff. So that...
I mean, there are like how many billion players in the world, right? But I don't see a billion murders.
Yeah, that's why. Yes. Okay.
Someone in the comments said like this has turned into a case psychology discussion topic. Yep. I mean, you came in late. Like, if you came on early, like Kai was giving us philosophy behind video games.
I mean, well, we talk about violence. I mean, to me, the only people who can't differentiate from games and real life, I think it would be kids more than the older ones, unless they are, especially medically, that kind of thing. So the only ones I would say that suffers from this the most, it would be the young ones, the kids.
Definitely.
Yeah. Instead of, I mean, I have no problem. I play games all the time. You don't see me going around killing people, sliding through the ground and jumping off buildings, shooting people. You don't see me do that. I'm not that dumb. So it's just really kids, honestly.
Definitely. And it's how they go back to school, they bully the others.
So what about addiction?
No.
Do you think it's a problem? I mean, WHO
I'm not
put it
addicted to video games.
But do you think that it's a phenomenon? It's a WHO listed it as a legit mental issue. What do you call that? Mental health issue?
Damn.
It's hard to say because there's so many people who does it for a job.
Yeah.
So can you say the people who work full-time job playing games, Twitch streamers, all those are addicted? Can you really say that? They spend hours and hours there, but that's what they do for a living. So would you call anyone who works a regular job a workaholic as addicted to work?
If they work more than they should.
So it's really
family.
So when as Su said, if they do work more than they should, that's where it's unhealthy. That's where they start not giving care about their health. That's what I think that's the bad part about it. So I would think the same thing as a game. If it's start to hurt you physically and mentally, that's where I think it's bad. But if it's not, I think fine.
It's like what we said at the beginning of this session was how video games for some of you guys were escapism. I guess it's also when you do not know your sense of self and do not come back to reality and you can't differentiate between the two. I think that's when it becomes an addiction. It's when you can't find happiness in the real world that you become addicted. It's like addiction with anything, I guess. Anything you get addicted to is,
Phones can be an addiction.
I mean, it's also by it's also by design, because these companies, they want the players to be hooked 24/7 as much as they can. So they reward them with level ups, with nice visual effects. Everything is just visually stimulating. Like you said, you threw up playing Call of Duty, but that's also by design, because everything is just stimulating. It's engaging your senses at all times. I feel like addiction is also, it's quite predatory lah by the gaming companies, which is another reason why I tend to not play multiplayer games.
There is this issue.
I guess
in
I
this
could
industry.
separate myself a little bit in that sense. When I did play Call of Duty, it was more because I never did play video games growing up. It was maybe when I was younger, it was Counter-Strike and Doom, but growing up, it was not something that was called for, but everyone was doing it. So I was like, okay, I'll join in with the fun as well, and then I'll see where it goes. And then it got too much for me, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I mean, I would probably still play it with you guys if, there's a time, but it's not something that I would go for. So I just don't feel like I necessarily, I guess I can say I know how to separate myself from that.
Right. I think this is one of the issues in the industry, in the video game industry, where they mostly focus on making addictive game as opposed to an engaging game. So an addictive game will be constantly gives you dopamine for you to come back without giving you much value. But an engaging game is something that they spend so much time into crafting, and that is so beneficial in a way that once you experience it, you get something out of it. So multiplayers are designed to be addictive because well, the main reason for a multiplayer game is for you to keep on playing, right? So, and by keep on playing it, it has been established as a comparison with the sport. And now there is this thing called e-sport. So e-sport is something that I have been finding hard to relate as a gamer. So what do you guys think about video game becoming a sport-like event?
It's fun watching those competitions.
Yeah.
I guess for people who don't like sports, like for example, I don't like sports. I don't like watching football and stuff. I do play them, but I don't watch them. So like having this something that I can relate to, like for example, I watch Rainbow Six tournaments or Valorant tournaments. So it's something that I actually do and enjoy, and then watching them play and like how they play, and then it gives you a new perspective on the games and stuff. So yeah, I guess it's a part of the evolution of technology. I mean, you can't. I mean, people said that television was gonna like the equipment itself, the television itself is not gonna market well because it's gonna fail because people don't want to spend their time watching at a screen. There was that during the first inception of televisions, but we see now we have laptops that are also kind of like an extension of televisions. So it's just the evolution of technology. So like we had the practical sports with a simple ball, and now we have sports with technology. So I guess it's just the evolution of us.
Yeah. And it's very interesting to watch as well, Kai, because just recently I've been supporting my nephew who just turned 20 years old, and he was in this championship by Michelin. So they were on Facebook Live. So they were racing with people all around Asia. And I could totally relate to Sufyan. There was this 7 or 8-year-old boy with full gear, steering wheel, with a nice racing car chair. And it was streaming. So it was so fun to watch. And it's by Michelin. So whoever will win this championship, I'm not so sure how much will they get, but I believe it's a huge amount of money.
They are rich. Gamers are rich.
Yeah, so it was interesting to watch. It was like a real Formula 1 race going on.
Yeah, you think about it, like that's what you said, the racing one. They buy like so many equipment just to mimic the real thing. But at the same time, you think, would a kid be able to drive this in real life right now? he crashed and he dies and that's it. But he plays that. He gives him the most closest to the reality of it. and even though he does crash, he can just start again.
Well, you never know as well. Maybe one day in the future he might be a professional racer.
Yeah.
You never know.
The whole point of esports to me is like how we watch any other sport right now. Back then, if this was a game, a physical game, and then it turned into like Olympics, so many all kinds of stuff, football, basketball, it turned to tournaments, championship, where you earn money because people spend their time doing it for so long. And now esports is just another version of it. It's just a less physical, less physical thing to do, but requires. It's just their own aspect of skill, I would say.
It's like those dance games with the Wii kind of thing, like the thing, and it's like, yeah. I'm good. I'm good for those games. Yeah, I'm good with those.
Yeah. Okay, let's address some of the questions in the comment section. Shuri Kyun asks, have you guys ever thought why kids like heroes, villains, or violent characters in the game is because that kids admire certain traits that the character have, but they lack in real life themselves?
Lacking the ability to kill people. Is that admirable?
Nico, what the? Nico,
what?
Other than that,
I actually just restarted watching 𝐂𝐢𝐭𝐡 again, and there was a nice line where Kirito talks about how people like to come into a game line to be a certain character, and some people like being villains. I'm in season 1 again, and so I guess some people latch on into what they can find in a game that they can't find in real life. I guess that's what would be the proper answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess that's another reason why I love The Sims as well, because I wanted to learn piano since I was young, and in this one character, I can let them learn the skills by playing piano, playing violin. So I wanted that when I was a child.
right?
I guess like.
hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah.
In any kind of media, like in pop culture or in video games, you're gonna have this protagonist that is appealing to characters, right? Like for example, Horizon Zero Dawn, I love it because they portray
Oh my God,
the
this boy and Horizon Zero Dawn. Oh my goodness! Wow.
What game is this?
Okay, so Horizon has this female character, right? But the way they portray her is amazing. They do not they don't sexualize her. Like even in Batman games, they sexualize Catwoman a lot, unnecessarily. But like Horizon really portrays like a strong character with strong personalities and just a smart person overall. So it really is kind of an inspiration to people in real life, because we, when growing up, we kind of have a vision of what we kind of want to be. So that's why I guess Superman, Batman, and all those heroes are appealing, because they portray traits of people that we kind of want to aspire to. Same with video games. If there are like aspiring leads, kids will see and say like, oh man, they're such a cool dude, such a good person. I want to be that person. So it's like in any form of media. I guess this starts. I mean, I guess it was even during the Hellenistic times, like even with Hercules, Perseus, and all that. So it's really just a part of our nature, I guess. So
I think what's cool is that on a movie you can relate to that person, but in a game you are playing as one. But suddenly you are the person for a while. So okay. Another fun fact about Pac-Man. Do you know that the developer designed Pac-Man solely to appeal to gather male and female or gamers? Because before Pac-Man, most gamers are male, but Pac-Man is designed in such a way that appeals to women as well.
Gender neutral?
Because of these specific traits about the game. Prior to Pac-Man, it's always about the spacecraft shooting here and there. It's about shooting, always about shooting. But Pac-Man is about eating. So that character of eating, Pac-Man, and then the eating mechanics has make it less of fighting and more of an enjoyable experience for women at that time. That's why it was designed that way.
Yeah, eating bananas.
And what about Super Mario? Jumping on the mushrooms. Super Mario was fun.
Super Mario, I forgot how it came by, but it was not from the Donkey Kong game. If you remember Donkey Kong, and there's a plumber at the bottom. So yeah, somehow it evolved to become its own game. Okay, now the next question is, what is again by 𝐂𝐕𝐄𝐿. What is everyone's thoughts on mobile games versus I guess console and PC games?
I love mobile games. I probably play more mobile games than video games.
Well, I would say I will always say PC and console would be the more original feeling from it, but mobile is just much more portable. Same things, games, but it's just portable. I wouldn't say they're not games or professional. They still can be good. It's just I since I have a PC, I rather play the original than play on my phone. Like I download like 10, 20 games on my mobile. I never touch them.
Yeah,
Can I say something quite controversial also?
Yes.
I guess it's kind of mobile games kind of destroy the game industry.
Oh my god,
Okay, I
go
can agree with
away.
that.
Please
I
just
agree with that.
I
no.
agree also.
No.
Okay, why not?
Take your case, Nico.
You see,
No, because it's the microtransaction and stuff.
yes,
Okay.
microtransaction. Okay,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that a lot of people heard of the game called Genshin Impact.
Oh my god.
Okay, all right, that game, good game. Don't get me wrong, people. Good game. But their gacha system, the way they make you pay for the game to get stuff. You know how many people could have buy cars, houses, but they put it all in there because of that strong addiction. And I'm not saying it came from there, all right, but it came from that system, which mostly came from mobile. Okay, and it's in. I don't know. It's just got so bad at this point.
Like, for example, the famous example that's very controversial is EA. EA has been sued by the British government, if I'm not mistaken, because of this system. EA, like FIFA, is a paid game already. But then they also have microtransactions. If you want to get this character, you have to buy loot boxes. You get something, and then they give you 3 random stuff that you do not even pay for. So it's gambling basically. So this idea comes from mobile gaming. So I'm not saying like mobile gaming is a bad thing. It's just the how their business models affect like PC and console games. It's devastating to the industry. My personal opinion.
Yeah.
Not all of it. It's just most of it, I would say. This
most of it.
Yeah.
I grew up in the time when mobile games was just the it thing. So I guess I like mobile games. And Sony Ericsson, every month was a new model, and we were playing that in school when teachers were teaching classes, and it was just something. It was just just a 2000 era thing. So if you're not a millennial, I guess you won't relate.
You like the Snake game? The classic.
Snake.
I love that game,
Wasn't
bro.
Snake older? Snake is like early 2000s kind of.
Yeah.
Not sure. Anyway, Nicole, would you like to say something?
Yes, what were you trying to say?
If you're going based on monetary transactions, fine. Mobile wins. But
Actually,
like, how much can your mobile take? Unless it's a gaming mobile lah. But and the types of games, I don't know. I've played mobile games as well. So like stuff like Township. What's the Mobile Legends? Was it?
League of
Mobile
Legends.
No, League of Legends was computer, right?
Mobile Legends.
Mobile Legends, right?
Mobile
Right.
Mobile Legends.
Okay. Compared to League of Legends, I mean, compared to those types of games, it's just so no.
Okay, I gotta say one thing. I have a passion of hate for Mobile Legends. Okay, I go out to like mamas, okay, restaurants and everywhere. I see all these people just sitting at the mama playing that game non-stop. I'm like, "Bro, you came out here to hang out with your friends and drink or whatever. Actually, you can do whatever you want, honestly. But how can all of you come out here just to play this game?"
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
just-
that's annoying.
It's so annoying. And then you guys shouting and like going crazy in public. You're not doing it in your home. You're shouting in public and you're going crazy because of a game outside. All right, where everyone is like want to like chill and hang out and have fun with their friends or alone, but you bring that environment outside, and then I'm just like, yeah, I know it's your choice, but I have full hate on that game, I can say.
Shiori, do you see what you have started?
They're addicted to the game. It's an addiction for them.
Yeah, they're addicted to the game. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, they are
Seriously.
really addicted.
Like for me, for example, most of the time it's only for my leisure time. If I want to play a game, if I'm home, I have nothing else to do, this is when I will switch on my PC, my desktop, and I will start playing. But before, I used to have a PSP Go, and I've lost it or somebody stole it.
Oh man.
Yeah, so after that, I said to myself, maybe it's a sign. I'm not gonna get
The new one.
Go and desktop game. It is only PC games.
Right.
I will never download anything on my mobile phone because I'm trying to get rid of my mobile phone every time if I hang out with my friends. It's always in my handbag.
I'm okay
You
with
guys-
consoles though.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Consoles pretty good.
Consoles and PC is just about the same thing, but PCs.
Then what would differentiate a console from a mobile game?
Mobile has very limited abilities, so there's no control. Like keyboard, you have how many buttons and all the different kinds of interaction that you can do. Consoles, you have a controller that designed to be interactive, but mobile is just a screen that they put all the interface in there, where it limits the complexity of how you play. It's what I think it is, and also the graphical things about it,
Abilities,
where you can only do so much with a mobile game. So you limit your own creativity and you limit the ability to do more. And on top of that, I think there are some pretty good, pretty innovative mobile games. But the thing is, those games are being shoved on top of all the business game, I would say, like the gacha game, all that.
Yeah.
So the standard right now for mobile game is that you pay to win, you pay to play, whereas the good ones are not appreciated much like the PC games and also console games. That is what I find problematic about the industry as a whole. This
I
statistic
guess then
shows
would
that
come down to the consumer of how much a consumer does their market research. You can't just blame it all on business people on always promoting and having the proper sponsors. What about the consumers who does not know how to do proper market research to find out those games? Then I probably research out my games before I got for mobile games, but some people are just dumb.
They're just kids.
No,
They're
that's
just kids
true.
with access to their parents' credit cards.
Yeah, probably that. Yeah.
Mom,
Yeah.
I want to buy a game. Here you go.
Friends,
Here you go.
Triggers every single child.
You know who you are.
There is a good news and a bad news in this regard as well. The good news being video games since I forgot the year had exit in terms of sales more than any other medium. Video game sales is now the largest among all media.
Yeah.
But if we dissect the video game itself, mobile games stays the top. However, the gamers don't really talk about mobile games as much. Now the question is why? So from my theory is that you can't really get much out of mobile games other than playing with your friends. Other than that, there's no story that stands out like in PC and console. There's no ideas that stands out like PC and console, except if you count Angry Bird or Candy Crush, or that as specific, unique ideas, or Flappy Bird even. So those.
I have something to say.
Yes, Alicia.
Have you ever been in a restaurant when you see a young couple with 2 kids or 3 kids on one table, and all the kids are on the screen playing their games? Because parents find it's easier for them to handle their kids. And even in the car, the kids stop shouting and screaming. You just give them the screen. They will play the mobile games.
Yep. And then they'll grow up and they'll annoy Nicholas when they go to mama restaurants and play mobile games.
Yeah, it's a trend. I guess that's the reason why mobile games sells a lot. It's not only for people to waste their time or leisure time or to get away from their hectic lifestyle, but it's actually for parents to give it to their kids, do their own thing, don't disturb mommy and daddy. Bye. There you go. That's your screen.
Or how about you just
Well, there's
don't
also
have
the fact
kids?
that, you know, it's
Exactly. If you're gonna do that, why
It's a lower,
don't not have kids?
That's a choice.
Like,
You can't say
Come
that.
on.
Yeah. I've noticed
It's
Easy
just the
learn
same.
I was in Mont Kiara, this nice couple, very fashionable, 3 kids with them. None of them spoke to each other. None. It's a very sad thing right now, seriously.
Yeah, I guess I don't have a problem with mobile games itself, but if mobile games takes the standard of video game as a whole, that's where the problem is. That's where that I find that this industry will become very unhealthy in development and innovation. So I hope that people can find something more out of video games that simply control it, use it as a tool to control your kids, or use it as a tool to escape and nothing else. So I guess we talk about e-sport, mobile games, and PC console games. Each of them serve different purpose, and thus, why is Nikhil laughing?
Looking at the comment. Hi,
Let's read that, shall we? Read that, shall we?
Okay,
Let's
let's.
read the comment. It's from 𝐄𝐕𝐄𝐃. Go ahead.
Very cute.
I will get all the followers, Kai.
So Danish
Go on,
showing his
say
love
it,
for
say it.
foreign
More.
side. Horizon.
Below that.
On Kai is handling everyone's controversial opinion in this talk show. Well, yeah, it's fun. Has
Go
this
down,
become
like
a
the last
parliament?
one.
Go down.
Parliament.
I shall switch my fan base allegiance from Kai to Nico.
Boy, you simp! You simp! What thing I don't dare to say? No offense. You do what you want. Right?
It's a free
I
country.
will build my army. And then I will take over the world.
Free sub, Nico. You getting a free sub.
Oh.
Back to the topic.
It's like a parliament talk.
It's a parliament talk. A more peaceful one at that.
Uh,
Well, yeah, so video games serves every purpose, and I hope that it will be stronger in the future and more purposeful and serves more good than bad. So yeah, before we leave, I have a sad news that Alicia, this will be the last time that you guys will be seeing Alicia in the talk show or Redboy, as she will be leaving. So just want to point that out and say thank you
Oh,
for being with us for almost a year already.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you do, good luck, have fun.
I will keep on supporting all of you. I'll be watching you every Wednesday.
okay.
Thank
Yay.
you.
And you can always call Kai too.
I will be the anonymous commenter.
Without you, my friend.
Oh,
Can't
man.
sing that. We got copyright.
No, what's it?
Well, it's my voice.
It's not
It's
singing in
copyright
pitch.
my
It's
voice.
fine. It's not singing in pitch. It's fine.
I guess we shall close with
your wise
Good
words.
Bye.
Good luck and have fun, everyone.
So that's it. Oh,
We
Yeah.
put some Yoda
Alright.
word.
Bye. See you
Yoda
guys
stuff.
around.
Bye, Alicia. We miss you.
bye, Alicia.
Watch
Hope
all
to
of
see you again
our-
soon, though.
See ya.
Yeah.